Welcome to the Everything podcast, and in this episode, I will be recapping Not Going Out to Doll, which was originally released on the 13th of June 2025, and I'm recording this episode nearly a week later, on the 19th of June 2025. Before I get onto it, if you haven't already checked today's first episode where I discussed the announcement of the fourth Doctor Adventures, The Last Queen of the Nile, please go and check that out, as well as my recap of Not Going Out Series 14, Episode 1, which you should be able to find quite easily in the Not Going Out playlist, which should be at the end of this episode. And if you can't find it, go to playlists on the channel. It should be near the top. Go and find that there. But without further ado, here is my recap of Not Going Out Series 14, Episode 2, titled Doll. We start off with the Not Going Out title sequence. Lee drags a box into the house. Lee showcases this box to Lucy. Lee exposes where he got a specific item from to Lucy. Lucy mentions Christmas wrapping paper. Lee opens this box. Lee mentions Argos catalogues. Lee and Lucy are startled by what's in the box. Lee mentions Lucy's job at Debenhams and Love Island. Lee works out what is actually in the box. Lee mentions Channel 5. Lee and Lucy disagree over their feelings towards the object that was in the box. Lee drags the object that was in the box. Lee asks Lucy to remove this object. No, wrong way around. Lucy asks Lee to remove this object from the house. Lucy mentions Antiques Roadshow. Lucy demonstrates what Lee's introduction on Antiques Roadshow would sound like. Lee proposes they sell this object through eBay. Lucy reveals her issues with this. Lucy insults Lee. The doll speaks to Lee's surprise. The doll communicates with Lee. The doll compliments Lee. Lee corrects the doll over his name. The doll wants to sleep with Lee. Lee reveals what happens at the tip. The doll reveals it has a crush on Lee. The doll starts malfunctioning. Lucy asks Lee to remind her to get marmalade later today. Lee informs Lucy that the doll speaks. Lee demonstrates this to Lucy. Lucy insults Lee. The doll returns to normal. The doll compliments Lee's voice. Lee corrects himself. Lucy suggests that Lee deactivate the doll. Lucy insults Lee. Lee attempts to deactivate the doll. The doll mentions Jim, who Lee and Lucy believe was the doll's previous owner. Lee mentions grief. Lucy mentions cats. Lee wants to find the doll a good home to go to. Lucy agrees to this. The doll mentions C-3PO. The doll laughs at its own joke. Lee mentions Jimmy Carr. The doll notices Lee's difference in breathing. The doll mentions whipped cream. The doll tricks Lee into looking at its eyes. Lucy catches Lee doing this. Lucy mentions River's dignity and despair. Lucy asks Lee to ask the doll to not stare at her. The doll reveals a fact about green eyes in humans. Lee compliments Lucy. The doll compliments Lucy. The doll also wants to sleep with Lucy, as well as proposing sleeping with Lee and Lucy at the same time. The doll compliments Lee. Lucy mentions Dolly Parton and Macaulay Culkin. Lucy mentions toasters. Lucy mentions knives. No, Lee mentions knives, rather. Lucy mentions toasters. Lee mentions knives. Lucy believes Lee fancies the doll. Lee and Lucy argue. The doll asks Lee and Lucy to stop arguing and be quiet. The doll asks Lee to listen to Lucy. Lucy thanks the doll. The doll notices that Lee is interrupting Lucy. The doctor asks Lee to apologize. The doll asks Lee to apologise to Lucy. The doll believes Lee is glitching. The doll compliments women when comparing them to men. Lucy thanks the doll. The doll reminds Lucy that she needs to buy marmalade. The doll has tricked Lucy. The doll winks at Lee. Lee mentions Elon Musk and Jedward. Lee learns that I can't read it because something just popped up. Lee learns that the doll is worth over £10,000 when bought brand new. The doll expresses her love for Lee. Lee mentions his love for Lucy as well as his marriage with Lucy and what a marriage goes through. Lee mentions his mum. The doll asks Lee a question about his and Lee's private time. I keep saying the doctor, that's probably with the amount of Big Finish I've been doing, that's probably what it is. Lee mentions the Great British Bake Off. The doll makes a promise to Lee. Lee mentions his lower back strength. The doll wants Lee to find its power source. The doll mentions Lucy as well as winking at Lee multiple times. The doll tricks Lee. Lee mentions the Jungle Book, Mowgli and Bagheera. Lee answers the door. Jim introduces himself to Lee. Lee lies to Jim. Jim reveals how he found where Lee lived. Jim admits to being weird. Jim compliments his intelligence. The doll reveals how long it took for him to trick Lee. The doll admits to its love for Jim. Jim mentions his wife. Jim mentions Ipswich. The doll laughs at another of its jokes. Jim tells Lee that the doll is capable of lying. The doll malfunctions again. The doll mentions Jim's itchy knees. Jim reveals his wife broke up with him. Jim asks Lee to get rid of the doll. Jim asks the doll to live with him. To leave him, I think. Yeah, it's not live. Leave him alone. Jim runs out of the house. The doll believes it's Lee's house. Lee corrects the doll. The doll gets confused with where Lucy is and where Jim's wife is. Lee defends Lucy to the doll whilst mentioning Paddington. Lee sets the doll straight. Lee plans on taking the doll to the tip. The doll asks Lee to kiss it. Lee refuses. The doll asks Lee to turn it off. The doll reveals how Lee can turn it off. Lucy catches Lee attempting to switch off the doll. Lucy destroys the doll, and the doll swears at Lucy. And that is my recap of Not Going Out, Series 14, Episode 2, titled Doll. Now, in tomorrow's first episode, we're back to be finished as per usual, and I will be recapping the 11th Doctor Chronicles, All of Time and Space, the Yearn. So here is the trailer for the 11th Doctor Chronicles, Volume 4, All of Time and Space.
From Big Finish Productions.
Oh, it's not multiple stories. It's the one story of a travelling man and his new best friend. This is the tale of Doctor Who.
The 11th Doctor Chronicles. All of Time and Space.
If we're going to get to the Dowager's Beazle Tub, we need to grab onto the side of it as it passes.
You still haven't told me what Beazle Tub is, or why we need
Well,
it.
it's nothing to do with the tube.
Travelling with you does wonders for my vocabulary.
Hopefully for your upper body strength too.
How much stronger do you need?
I'm talking to puppets. The puppets are talking to me. There isn't anyone in that booth, is there?
Well, there's a crocodile, but he's sleeping.
Ooh, hello.
Hello, your rodent ship. I'm
It's
the
not a crate of intelligent mice.
Energy signatures like this are old news to a boy from the Casturbarus neighbourhood.
Doctor, they could be here at any moment. Can you get to the point yourself, or shall I order you a cab?
Try not to dwell on that thought.
Because it's utterly petrifying.
Because, if that happens, it's goodbye from you and goodbye from me. The way I see it, there's only...
Roanna!
Valerie!
Help me!
Don't move!
On the contrary, we have to go. All of us, now.
Take my hand.
Head for ops. There's half a dozen traps between there and here. Make them run the gauntlet.
Costa, I've got you. Come on!
Run!
It's coming in very fast and very close.
Thought it might be. It's good to have your eyes to confirm it. Let's hope it's not too late. Here it comes! No!
Big Finish. For the love of stories.
Well,
You know why I'm here?
still looking for this doctor. No, I've not seen him.
No.
No. So, you can leave.
That was the trailer for the 11th Doctor Chronicles Volume 4, All of Time and Space. And I showed you that because in tomorrow morning's episode, which will release at 11 a.m. GMT as per usual, I'll be recapping the 11th Doctor Chronicles, All of Time and Space, the Yearn. But back to this episode, let me know what you thought of Not Going Out, Series 14, Episode 2, titled Doll. If you watched it, my recap, if you didn't, put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well with anything else you want me to cover on the channel, such as any previews or recaps, put those in the comments below as well. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. GMT for my recap of the 11th Doctor Chronicles, All of Time and Space, the Yearn. See you then. Goodbye.